It is the autumn of 1775. Americans are in the throes of revolution, at war with themselves. The day before, these men were Jacob Bowman's friends and neighbors. Now, they are a mob of enemies.
My grandfather was surprised at night by a party of rebels, and with his eldest son was taken prisoner. His house was pillaged. There my grandmother was with 6 children without any provisions in the house at the commencement of winter.
The Bowman family is guilty of no crime but loyalty to England. Loyalty to the wrong side. It will cost Jacob and his eldest son 4 years of their lives. All over the 13 colonies, others like the Bowmans will suffer. Their homes and fields burned, driven from their land, beaten, humiliated. In the next 40 years, the question of loyalties will twice turn North America into a battleground and trigger the greatest mass migration in its history. It will first divide, then uproot the Indian nations, making them refugees in their own land. And it will change the face of the continent, creating one country and planting the seeds of another. A year before the revolution, Quebec City is at peace. In the dozen years since the conquest, French and English have reached an accommodation of sorts. Quebec has become part of the British Empire without losing its language, its French laws, or its Catholic religion. In return, the seigneurs and the church leaders, the elite of Quebec society, have pledged their loyalty to Britain. Governor Guy Carleton feels confident and secure.
I have had the satisfaction of finding His Majesty's Canadian subjects impressed with the strongest sense of the King's great goodness toward them. The Canadians have testified to me the strongest marks of joy and gratitude to the King and his government. I am convinced their fidelity and zeal might be depended on.
But in the world outside the governor's mansion, rebellion is brewing. On the night of the governor's ball, a Montreal merchant begins spreading a message from the American rebels. Thomas Walker has always hated British military rule. Now he has become a militant Republican. Under the guise of selling wheat in the rural districts, he begins selling sedition instead. Walker circulates a proclamation from the American rebels inviting Quebec to join the revolution. It is both an appeal and a threat.
Seize the opportunity. Take a noble chance for emerging from a humiliating subjection under governors and military tyrants into the firm rank and condition of free English citizens. You are a small people compared to those who invite you into a fellowship. A moment's reflection should convince you which will be most for your interest and happiness. To of all the rest of North America, your unalterable friends, or your inveterate enemies.
Walker begins recruiting Canadians to join the rebel cause. A young carpenter from Sainte-Famille who drums up volunteers. A wealthy merchant from La Pocatière who guarantees clothing and muskets to new recruits. In the words of one seigneur, they are preaching rebellion everywhere and raising holy hell. The loudest voice opposing the rebellion is the church. Its leaders know the Americans will never recognize the Catholic religion as the British have done. The bishop decrees that anyone who takes up arms against the king will be denied the sacraments and the right to Christian burial. But on a Sunday morning in Trois-Rivières, young notary Jean-Baptiste Badeau wonders if his fellow parishioners are listening.
We received the blessing of the Holy Sacrament, and we began praying fervently during Mass and at the offering. There were very good Christians all around us, but how many others were there as well? As they were leaving church, I heard with my own ears several people saying they came to pray for an American victory. This is how far our faith has fallen. No wonder God has thrown a dark cloud over our miserable province.
The cloud bursts at Lexington, Massachusetts in April 1775. The shot heard round the world plunges Britain and her 13 colonies into war. And Canadians are rapidly drawn into America's revolution. The rebel commander, George Washington, is determined to seize Quebec before Britain can use it as a springboard to invade the 13 colonies.
I need not mention the great importance of this place and the consequent possession of all Canada. If it is ours, success, I think, will most certainly crown our struggles. If it is theirs, the contest, at least, will be doubtful, hazardous, and bloody.
Washington's network of spies in Quebec reports that Canadians have uncertain loyalties. They might not join the revolution, but they will not resist it either. In Montreal, the widow Thérèse Baby writes to her family in Quebec City.
My dear brother, you cannot imagine the panic that has overtaken us all. Many people have sent their documents and valuables to the country, and many people are getting ready to leave altogether. I've decided to risk staying with my 2 daughters. I'm saddened by all this, but then again it makes me laugh to see how some cowards can no longer hide their fear.
Most Canadians want no part of a war they regard as a family feud between 2 brands of Englishmen. When the governor calls up the militia, most refuse to take up arms. Carleton now faces a bitter reality. He must defend the province with only a small force of British redcoats.
Not 600 rank and file fit for duty upon the whole extent of this great river. Not an armed vessel. No place of strength. The ancient provincial force enervated and broke to pieces. All subordination overset, and the minds of the people poisoned with the same hypocrisy and lies practiced with such success in other provinces, which their emissaries and friends here have spread abroad with great art and diligence.
With his province divided and his army outnumbered, Carleton knows he is vulnerable. And so do the American rebels.